Caitlin Clark played in another Pro-Am, and as expected, you know, Caitlin Clark golf is the most relevant thing in women's basketball.
She took the LPGA by storm, and today the WNBA superstar surprised the PGA Tour and played the back nine at the RSM Classic.
Caitlin Clark's record-breaking golf performance shocked the entire WNBA. Known for her dominance on the basketball court, Caitlin has now stepped onto the golf course and completely rewritten the script.
Just remind yourself how cool this experience is and don't let it pass you by. But I think that's, anything I do in life, like having these sort of experiences or whatever I get to do and the opportunities that I have, like soak it in, because a lot of people would trade and want to have these opportunities as well.
At the RSM Classic Pro-Am, she delivered a performance so stunning it left fans, commentators, and even seasoned golf pros in awe. This wasn't just a crossover moment, it was a defining chapter in sports history. Picture this, a basketball legend trading hoops for greens, and not just holding her own, but shattering records.
What happens when you have a transformative athlete like Caitlin come out to another sport? She crosses over to a new sport and she brings that stardom and those fans over.
Caitlin's precision, her mental toughness, and her ability to rise under pressure were on full display, silencing any doubts about her versatility as an athlete.
Well, it was awesome. Caitlin loves the sport, loves the difficulty. You can tell she's a competitor. She likes to tackle hard things. It's evident.
Every swing of her club felt calculated and powerful, showcasing the same competitive fire that has made her a household name in the WNBA.
And I want to personally thank Caitlin Clark for lifting up our sport.
But this was about more than just scores. It was about the sheer energy Caitlin brought to the event.
I was trying to think of who else maybe could play today, especially in women's sports, that would create this kind of attention. The true buzz that Caitlin Clark has shown across the entire sports world in such a short period of time.
Fans, many of whom were completely new to golf, gathered to witness her magic. The atmosphere was electric, with cheers echoing across the course. Caitlin's charisma and fearless attitude turned what might have been a quiet Pro-Am into an unforgettable spectacle, cementing her as a once-in-a-generation athlete.
There were so many both male and female who have watched a lot of WNBA basketball this year because of Caitlin Clark. And now it seems like whatever she does, whether it's in fashion, whether it's in the arts, and now whether it's in sports here, they seem to follow her. And anything that she touches makes it a little bit better. And obviously she's doing that with golf right now.
From her incredible eagle opportunity to her ability to navigate high-stakes moments with ease, Caitlin proved that greatness knows no boundaries.
Her presence alone is all that matters. Her love for the game is all that matters. I think probably the only person that is worried about how she plays is, I would imagine, Caitlin herself.
The WNBA star has officially bridged the gap between two worlds, showing that elite athleticism transcends the confines of a single sport. Stay with us as we break down her unforgettable day on the course and explore how Caitlin Clark continues to redefine what's possible in sports.
I love that she has a love for the game of golf. Yeah, maybe I'll ask Caitlin for some advice, some tips. Next time we'll get together, maybe it'll be on a basketball court.
When Caitlin Clark stepped onto the lush greens of the RSM Classic Pro-Am, no one could have predicted what was about to unfold. Known worldwide for her sharpshooting on the basketball court, she had already proven herself as an unmatched talent in the WNBA. But golf? That was an entirely new challenge.
You see her at this event, you see the kind of noise that this is making, you see that this is trending on social media, you see that SportsCenter, Bleacher Report, all of these places, every media outlet is covering this, and you don't say anything.
Yet Caitlin approached it like every other challenge in her life, with confidence, a precision, and an unrelenting drive to succeed. The anticipation was palpable as she teed off on her first hole. Spectators, many of whom had only ever seen Caitlin dribble a basketball, watched in awe as she delivered a swing that could rival seasoned golfers.
Well, first of all, we're thankful that she's here. Kind of the one, and when you talk about women's sports, she's kind of, other than Nelly, it's been Caitlin.
Her debut wasn't a tentative test of waters, it was a declaration. The crisp sound of her driver connecting with the ball echoed across the course, and when it landed perfectly on the fairway, the crowd erupted.
Yeah, you got that. There you go.
180 yards in the fair.
But Caitlin wasn't content with just fitting in. She made an impression that will be remembered for years. Her ability to read the course, adapt to its challenges, and deliver under pressure mirrored the precision and mental toughness she exhibits on the basketball court.
You know, individual, it's a challenge, especially mentally. Like, that's what's so beautiful about golf. And I think being outside, I love that.
Unlike many crossover athletes who dabble in another sport, Caitlin appeared as though she'd been training for this moment her entire life. Every movement was deliberate, every shot intentional. Her second shot on the par 5 hole was the turning point of the day. Fans collectively held their breath as she lined up, adjusted her stance, and took the swing. The ball soared gracefully through the air and landed mere feet from the hole, a setup for an eagle attempt.
I know that you work really hard in the off season. You said yesterday you're always trying to get better. What's the thing that you're working on in this off season?
I think, honestly, besides the actual basketball skill part of it, I think getting stronger, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm in the weight room a lot, just building that strength. Obviously, it was hard going right from the college season to the professional season. You know, you spend a lot of time in the weight room, so.
The crowd exploded in disbelief. It wasn't just a great shot, it was the kind of performance that seasoned professionals spend years perfecting. Caitlin had just shown the world she was here to compete, not simply participate. What made her performance even more compelling was how naturally she handled the pressure.
Clark participating in this LPGA Pro-Am is just going to bring so many more eyes because everything she does brings eyes, especially to a basketball court, but even when she makes an appearance courtside.
Golf, a game as much about mental resilience as physical skill, is notorious for testing the nerves of even the most experienced players. Yet Caitlin exuded calm and focus, handling the high-stakes atmosphere with grace. Whether it was the confident glint in her eye or the way she carried herself between holes, it was clear Caitlin wasn't just enjoying the moment, she was owning it.
And those fans over, but many of the fans who were walking with her today aren't necessarily golf fans. They're either Caitlin fans or WNBA fans, and it's kind of their first exposure to the game. So a lot like last week, it was a really good step for golf and obviously for Caitlin and her fans. Now,
her transition to golf wasn't just a novelty, it was a powerful demonstration of her unparalleled athleticism. Caitlin wasn't there to be a sideshow or a special guest, she was there to elevate the game itself. And as the day unfolded, it became increasingly evident that this wasn't just a one-time feat. Caitlin Clark, the basketball icon, had officially announced herself as a contender on the greens.
I think right here today, considering all of the social media, all of the outlets for attention, Caitlin Clark by far today is the most sought after popular star.
As Caitlin Clark's performance unfolded, it became clear that this wasn't just about her skill, it was about the energy she brought to the entire event. Pro-Ams, typically calm and understated compared to major tournaments, rarely attract headlines, but Caitlin flipped that narrative on its head. From the moment she stepped onto the course, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement. Fans gathered in record numbers, eager to see how a WNBA superstar would fare on the golf course. What they got was a show like no other.
The golf media is pumped about Caitlin Clark, as they should be. So many more new fans are going to be tuning in to golf who never would have otherwise.
The Caitlin effect was undeniable. Her mere presence transformed the tournament from a routine outing into an electrifying spectacle. Spectators who'd never set foot on a golf course suddenly became avid fans, glued to every shot she took.
Caitlin Clark has been the best thing, the most dominant thing. Remember, there's been good players come out of college, but nobody really cared. We'd seen it. Nobody really cared.
Cheers erupted in a way rarely seen in golf, a sport known for its quiet decorum. Caitlin's ability to energize the crowd while maintaining her laser focus was something to behold. It was as if she carried the pulse of a basketball game onto the greens.
So here comes the female GOAT, and these women are going from having 3,000 people in their arenas to 20,000.
Her charisma played a major role. Caitlin wasn't just competing, she was connecting. Between holes, she waved to fans, exchanged laughs with fellow players, and even took a moment to chat with a young admirer wearing her basketball jersey. These small but powerful gestures showcased her authenticity and relatability, endearing her even more to the crowd. She wasn't just an athlete showing off her skills, she was a role model inspiring everyone to chase their dreams, no matter how unconventional they might seem.
Caitlin Clark is just such a class act. She was incredible, breaking all types of records, and that's something she was certainly proud of. We saw lots of smiles on the court.
Caitlin is the face right now, and that's also good. Like, she's selling out gyms, of course. Like, why would you hate against that?
Then came the moment when her golf acumen truly stunned the crowd. On a particularly challenging hole, Caitlin found herself in a tough spot, a bunker shot that could make or break her momentum. With the same poise that defines her basketball career, she analyzed the terrain, adjusted her stance, and executed a near flawless chip that landed perfectly on the green. The crowd erupted once again, their cheers echoing across the course. Professional golfers, many of whom were initially unsure what to expect, quickly became some of her biggest fans. Zach Johnson, an Iowa native and seasoned pro, was among those visibly impressed. Observing Caitlin's composure and precision, he remarked, "She takes on challenges most wouldn't even dare to try, and she makes it look effortless." Even PGA officials and commentators couldn't help but marvel at how seamlessly she adapted to a sport so different from her own. What set Caitlin apart wasn't just her athleticism, but her fearless mindset. Golf is a sport where precision and patience are paramount, and yet she approached it with the same competitive fire she brings to the basketball court. She wasn't afraid to take risks, knowing full well that they might not always pan out. That boldness paid off not just in her score, but in the inspiration she ignited. By the time Caitlin reached the back nine, the course was alive with an energy rarely seen in golf. Fans jostled for the best vantage points, eager to catch a glimpse of her next big moment. Her shots were met with thunderous applause, her every move followed with eager anticipation. Caitlin had taken a sport known for its reserved demeanor and infused it with excitement and inclusivity, proving that golf could resonate with an entirely new audience. This wasn't just a day on the course, it was a cultural moment. Caitlin Clark wasn't merely breaking records, she was breaking barriers. She showed that an athlete's greatness isn't confined to the lines of a court or the limits of a single discipline. Caitlin had elevated the Pro-Am experience, turning it into something far greater than a tournament. Caitlin Clark's performance wasn't just about one extraordinary day, it was a statement, a declaration that greatness knows no boundaries. Her dominance on the basketball court is undisputed, but what she accomplished on the greens of the RSM Classic Pro-Am resonated far beyond a single tournament. It was a moment that redefined what athletes are capable of, blurring the lines between sports and showing that excellence can transcend traditional limits.
Caitlin Clark, what she's doing doesn't minimize what they've done, but we should have been giving her the credit. We saw the ratings, we saw the merchandise sales, we saw the attendance, but y'all want to make it about something else. Oh, what about the women that laid the foundation? What about this? What about it? That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is box office. She's doing this. And instead of giving her credit, y'all tried to make it about, oh, y'all poo-pooing the old guard. Y'all never talked about the old guard like this. Nah, I ain't gonna let it slide.
One of the most striking aspects of Caitlin's impact was the ripple effect her presence had on the sport of golf itself. Historically, golf has been seen as a niche sport with a dedicated but somewhat exclusive following. Caitlin changed that narrative. By stepping onto the course, she brought with her an entirely new audience, fans of basketball, young athletes, and casual sports enthusiasts who had never considered watching a golf tournament before. The influx of energy was palpable, as cheers and applause followed Caitlin from hole to hole. For many of these fans, the experience wasn't just about seeing Caitlin compete, it was about discovering a new way to connect with sports. Young girls who idolized her basketball career now saw her excelling in an entirely different arena, proving that they too could dream bigger. Caitlin's ability to bridge these worlds transformed the Pro-Am into a stage for inspiration, making it more than just a competition. It became a symbol of limitless potential. What truly set Caitlin apart, however, was her natural ability to adapt and excel in a sport that demands a completely different skill set. Golf requires a unique blend of mental fortitude, precision, and strategic thinking, and Caitlin embraced those challenges with grace and determination. Each swing was a testament to her dedication and discipline. Her putts, deliberate and focused, showcased an understanding of the game that many seasoned players take years to master. Even her misses felt intentional, as though they were part of a calculated effort to learn and improve. Her shot on the 16th hole will likely be talked about for years to come. Faced with a nearly impossible angle to the green, Caitlin took her time, analyzing the terrain with the focus of a seasoned pro. She adjusted her stance, executed a perfect swing, and sent the ball soaring toward the pin. The gallery erupted as it landed within feet of the hole. It wasn't just a moment of skill, it was a moment of brilliance that reminded everyone why Caitlin Clark is a generational talent. Her influence wasn't limited to her game. Caitlin's interactions with her fellow players and fans brought a sense of warmth and inclusivity to the tournament. She celebrated their successes as enthusiastically as her own, embodying the spirit of sportsmanship. Professional players often noted how refreshing it was to see someone approach the game with such joy and openness, a reminder of why they fell in love with the sport in the first place. Even PGA officials couldn't ignore the magnitude of what Caitlin had accomplished. Her performance sparked conversations about what the future of golf could look like, more inclusive, more diverse, and more connected to younger audiences. Caitlin wasn't just a player, she was a movement. By challenging the norms and redefining what it means to be an elite athlete, she opened the door for more crossover moments in sports, where barriers between disciplines are no longer seen as limits, but as opportunities. The phrase Caitlin effect was repeated throughout the day, and for good reason. It wasn't just her talent that captivated the audience, it was her ability to inspire, to unite, and to challenge expectations. Her performance was a reminder that sports are about more than just competition. They're about stories, about breaking barriers, and about bringing people together. By the time the sun set on the course, Caitlin Clark had accomplished something few could have imagined. She didn't just compete in a pro-am, she elevated it. Her performance left an indelible mark not only on the tournament, but on the sport itself. Caitlin had shown that greatness isn't confined to one arena, one set of skills, or one definition. Her impact is lasting, her influence profound, and her story far from over. As the final putt dropped and the cheers of the crowd echoed across the course, it became clear that Caitlin Clark's performance at the RSM Classic Pro-Am was more than just an extraordinary day of golf. It was a historic moment in sports. She didn't just play, she inspired. Her presence on the greens was a reminder that true greatness isn't bound by a single game or set of rules. Caitlin has once again proven that she's not just an athlete, she's a trailblazer, a symbol of what's possible when talent, determination, and fearlessness collide. Her ability to excel in one of the world's most demanding sports while drawing in fans from entirely different realms is nothing short of remarkable. The Caitlin effect has redefined what it means to be a star, proving that her influence extends far beyond basketball courts or golf fairways. This performance wasn't just about breaking records, it was about breaking barriers and redefining expectations. Caitlin has shown that there's no limit to what an athlete can achieve when they embrace challenges head on. As she continues her journey, one thing is certain: wherever Caitlin Clark goes next, she will continue to make history, inspire generations, and leave an unforgettable legacy. What makes Caitlin's achievement even more meaningful is the hope and excitement it has sparked for the future of sports. Her ability to unite fans across different disciplines shows how shared passion can transcend boundaries, bringing people together in ways few thought possible. Caitlin's journey isn't just about her. It's a reminder to all of us that barriers can be overcome, dreams can be expanded, and greatness is limited only by the courage to pursue it. The game may have ended, but the story of Caitlin Clark's impact is just beginning. If you're ready to dive into the latest and greatest moments in women's basketball, you're in the right place. Here on WNBA Original, we cover everything from breaking news to inspiring stories, bringing you closer to the action and the players who make it all happen. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, so you'll always be the first to know what's happening on and off the court. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more from WNBA Original.